Hello Lolas, welcome back to my channel, guys. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click the bell to be a part of the notification squad, and don't forget to join my channel membership. We call it the Chatter Box, but the link is in the description bar of every video. Today I have with me, he looked like he could be an Ethan, but we did name him Diego. And the topic of this video is about taking care of your silicone baby. Now, this is a cuddle baby, and I like to say, like, I think cuddle babies are for people that like to hold their babies and they like the real feel of the babies, and they want to have the luxury of putting them on all types of loud color clothing, no worries, stress-free. Cuddle babies can give you that security there. And also, cuddle babies are excellent for first-time dog collectors at a young age. Like, you got a 10-year-old or 9-year-old, 12-year-old that is really watching mommy or auntie or cousin or whatever get into collecting, and they want to have their own. Start them out with a cuddle. I always say start them out with a cuddle because you can see how they're going to handle it, and then of course you maybe upgrade to a partial and then full body. But if you want to jump right into a full body, okay, no problem. Let me tell you guys, just as these dolls are mostly for adult collectors, but hey, I know I was very responsible with my dolls when I was at a young age. So I leave that up to the parent to know if they feel like their child is, you know, responsible enough. So I'm trying to think of who I can pull over here really quick. I am thinking about taking, I ordered him a body, by the way. A new body, because as you guys know, I love him on this body, but this one don't have, like, it's supposed to be with hands out, and he doesn't have hands, he just have feet. He just have feet. Look, oh wait, there we go. So I ordered him the proper body from Tiny Succulent Nursery, so that should be coming in soon. And yeah, so if you're interested in him, I am actually going to consider letting him go, just because, you know, as us dog collectors, what we do. I just purchased something else and I'm like, okay, and I really want to keep it for myself. I'm always trying to keep something for myself, but then I have to let something go to do that. So I'm in the same boat as other collectors, even though I make most of my babies myself. I am going to be purchasing a baby from somebody else soon, or as it become available. Okay, so taking care of full body baby. First of all, don't let people scare you. If you're good with your reborns, you'll be fine with your silicones. If you're rough with your reborns, then you will need to slow it down a little bit. So when I say rough, like if you just flop your reborns down anywhere, these babies are soft, so you want to make sure they're not on hard surfaces. Okay, you don't want nothing sharp because it will tear. Where you might replace a limb on a vinyl, you cannot do that with a silicone. I'm gonna remove his eyebrows because I don't really like them, or I'm gonna change them up a little bit. So anyway, we're not gonna worry about that. We'll just focus. Okay, so number one. Okay, let me start with the things that most people like about silicone. First of all, it's like, oh my gosh, I could put them in water and I could bathe them. Okay, here's the thing. If you put them in the water, gently like rinse them with the washcloth. Like you're just squishing the water down them and, you know, just kind of rinsing them off, getting whatever fuzzies or maybe some excess hair, or maybe you missed them, put them on an outfit with glitter. I do not allow glitter in my house. I bought some lipstick, some fancy lipstick the other day, and it had glitter in it. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of nervous about this. But, and you put them in the water. I suggest just water. I have back in the day used a little bit, like 1 drop of Johnson & Johnson baby bath in there. It doesn't normally bother them, but in today's world, I would just use water. If you want to have it there for decor, if you're videoing or taking a picture, that's fine. I prefer you don't, but if you do, just a drop, okay? Just to have the little scented water, whatever. I I suggest use plain water, and maybe in the hair you could take a little bit of like fabric softener, or use the Johnson & Johnson, but make sure it don't run on the body, and then you'll have the baby smell scent or stay in the baby head. But I say use fabric softener because most of the babies have mohair in it, and it works wonderful on mohair. So just a little bit with the water, and make sure when you're washing them, you lean the head over the sink like this, and you're washing it this part and letting it rinse out and not back onto the baby on the paint. As much as we say treat them like a real baby, they're not a real baby. So you want to keep that in mind, okay? When you're handling them and when you're doing certain things, you don't want to mess up their paint. The other thing is, okay, so we talked about baths. You can bathe them. Just be gentle. Pat them dry. Don't rub, and also don't rub them with the cloth. Don't scrub them with the cloth. You don't want to do that. You can pat them dry with the towel, or you can let them lay out and air dry. I usually pat my babies dry. I won't lie. I don't got time for no sitting on air dry, child. Ain't nobody got time for that. The other thing is pacifiers. We love pacifiers. And did I bring you one over here, Puka Butt? Okay, a lot of times now this baby mouth is fairly wide open, but sometimes they're not. And even if they're wide open, I suggest, some people use baby powder, and that's fine. But baby powder tends to leave like you eat powder donuts. It gets all over the mouth, and that just irritates me. So I use some just regular smuggler KY. Put a little bit on the nipple. Here I can show you. It makes it ease right in. You can just put just a dab. It's barely, you don't even need that much, and just put it on there, and it will guide right in the baby's mouth with no problemo. I didn't really put that much of it in there on this one at all, but see, it just ease right in. You don't have to work hard or force it. So I say lubricant. Don't get no warming gel and all that stuff. Just get the basic, okay? Water-based and the original KY. And there you have it. So that's what I say for pacifiers. Try to always get the 0 plus month if you can. Just because no matter how big the baby mouth is, the less the better, and it don't get stretched. If the baby mouth is really like a closed mouth setting, I suggest that you don't leave the pacifier in there all day. You know, maybe for pictures, maybe if you're doing an outing. I tend to sometimes like my babies, if their mouth is wide open, I like to put a pacifier in there. If it's not, then I don't need a pacifier in it. I just like to put a pacifier in the mouth open when outings, because people are like waiting for the baby to move or something like that. But even with the pacifier, they're looking like, oh, the baby ain't sucking the pacifier. It don't matter. That's up to you. But just keep that in mind. I wouldn't leave it in there all day, but if it does, it's not the end of the world. It just may allow it to be open a little bit more than normal because it'll stretch. Okay, here's a few tips and tricks. Let's say that I did accidentally leave him with a little bit of on something, and he gets a little bit of an indent in him. With silicone, sometime you can just rub that area gently, and you can rub that dent right out, okay? But you don't want to keep rubbing your baby. And when you take your babies and somebody get to see them, you know, just advise them not to keep rubbing the hands. People like to do this and be like, oh, it's silicone, and then just keep rubbing, and this is paint. And I don't care how good the artist did with that baby, eventually you're gonna get paint rubs, because they're just rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. Because if somebody keep rubbing you and rubbing you, you're gonna get raw, right? So this same thing. Think of it like that. Pulling people like, oh, the hair, let me see. Baby, don't pull it. It's not sealed. Now, I will tell you that silicone hair, because silicone is like glue, so the hair don't just fall out easy like people think. It's actually pretty darn hard to pull the hair. When you're trying to remove hair, you have to yank the hair. But I also don't use regular brushes, so I do recommend the goat hair brushes. They have fairly soft bristles, so I use these. See, I can't see what I'm showing you guys. Okay, so I use these brushes. Sometimes I send them home with my mommies, my babies, so that the mommies can have them. And this is what I use for their hair. I use it for the eyebrows as well, because I am one that root my baby's eyebrows, and I don't slick them down with silicone and all that, because I don't like that old crispy fried dot laid to the side look. I don't like it. So I leave them done. I try to cut them in a way that or root them in a way directionally, so that they don't like stick all everywhere. But when you're dressing them, sometimes they do get out of order, and I just brush them from time to time. So that's another thing. Trying to think of what else. Dressing your babies. You always want to stretch the clothes, not the baby. You want to do that with your reborns as well. I know I said we're going to stick to silicone, but I just want to say that too. And so like I said, the biggest difference with vinyl and silicone is mainly the pacifier, because usually vinyl is magnetic and these go in the mouth, so you want to be careful there to try to avoid paint rubs. And you don't want to, because sometimes with the gloss, the back and forth might cause a little bit of peeling or something like that. But yeah, as far as let's see, should I do a part 2 on babies with armatures? Okay, and then like I said, dress them, stretch the clothes, not them. If you are, I still, even though people say that the dye won't rub off on the silicone, I've seen it happen, but I was able to wipe mine down with alcohol and it wiped right off. I caught it really quickly. I say put them on tights under, like if you're gonna, like if I put them on jeans, I'll put them on a pair of tights under the jeans, just like I would my reborns. Don't force the limbs in positions that isn't natural to the sculpt. So what I mean by that, let me show you. So, all right. So this little guy, he has these hinges in his arms, and I'm still learning how to pose him when he's laying down with these type hinges. But I'm gonna lay him in a way that goes natural, and I don't feel like I'm forcing him into that position. And like when I do the tuck, if it feels like you having to work too hard to push the legs up, don't push the legs up. If the armatures don't allow you to go that way, then don't go that way. You want to, do just enough. You don't want to overdo it, because that's how you get rips and tears. If the baby has a naturally bent leg, you don't want to keep pulling it out, because then you'll rip, you may cause a tear in the back of the legs. It doesn't happen as often as what people think. As far as like silicone like tearing or falling apart, silicone is so very durable, and it's really stretchy, honestly. So you don't have to be too worried about your silicone baby. As long as you're not like the worst, you should be fine. But I'm trying to think of what else. If they have open eyes, take a Q-tip, wet it, and you can just wipe in the eyes to get any dust or anything out. If you give them a bath and they have an open mouth, and you want to dry inside the mouth, so take the Q-tip and go in there and dry in there, or cloth if you can get in there, and make sure you dry inside the mouth, inside the ears, get the excess water out. I will do drinking wet and armatures in the next video, and also leave in the comment section if it's anything else you think I have missed. Powdering them down, I say if the baby is not sticky and extra shiny, don't powder. The excess powdering is something that we like to do in the beginning, and some people still enjoy it. I don't think it's the end of the world. It's just, I just find that I don't do it. anything that I don't need to do, I don't do with my babies. Well, I ain't gonna say that, because dressing them, you don't need to dress them, but you know what I mean. Like any maintenance, like I'm not gonna powder them down with matting powder, especially with my brown babies and stuff like that, because then they get that film on them and they look like chalky and stuff like that. So I try not to. And every so often you might have to rinse them off if you do powder. But D3 and a couple other places have matting powder that you can just dust on after they've been painted. If you do get like a little minor shiny spots, I say just get you some matte powder and matte, you know, powder them a little bit gently just in that area. All right, I'm gonna do armatures, drinking wet, and whatever else I left out of this video, so it don't be too long, in a part 2. This was a special request, so hopefully this helps. I'm gonna give you guys some more tips and tricks, if I could think of any, in the second video as well. Like if you run into any type of little problems, I'll try to think of any little problems you might could run into, and then how to handle those. Okay?